Good morning, Rayfield. Let's get ready for our Tuesday morning prayer. Dear Lord, we come before you today to give you praise, not only for showing us the way we should go, but for being the way, the truth, and the life. We thank you for our home, our jobs, our loved ones, and so much more. Lord, may you keep us in your perfect peace as we journey throughout this day. We ask, Lord, that you continue to cover us with your blood and your love. In the precious name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. Let's have a great day, Rayfield. It's a terrific Tuesday. Let's have a great day. Good morning, Rayfield. Let's get ready for our Tuesday morning prayer. Dear Lord, we come before you today to give you praise, not only for showing us the way we should go.
Welcome everybody. So happy to see you today. I am so thankful and blessed. It's another day, another year. Thank you for spending this time and being with Chef Anthony. It's been an elodious, wonderful 2022. Came in with a readiness, but then I had a little setback. But that's quite all right because I'm here and I'm still standing. So today I'm so glad that you're here because during the time I was out, I was thinking about certain things and I wanted to be a bit more involved with certain other things that we could do and still be creative in the kitchen. So today it crossed my mind. I said that I want to prepare a chicken tortellini dish. It's practically, tortellini is a pasta. Just to those who don't know what it is, tortellinis are these pastas that's twisted, and some of them may have small bits of meat in it. This one has chicken and what is it again? Prosciutto is inside of here, which is practically what is it? Prosciutto is what do you call that when the meat is dried out, and so that's what it is. It is a special ham that's dried all the way out, and then this process is sliced up. And so we have both spinach and we have regular tortellinis that we're gonna utilize. I've just went ahead and started can take the water back here, and you want to add just a little bit of some oil and salt. Remember, the salt needs to be sea salted. So when I say sea salted, you can pour a whole lot of salt into your pasta water. It's not going to make it salty. All it's doing is that you want to captivate the flavoring within the pasta. So the tortellini or spaghetti or whatever type of pasta, bow tie, spaghetti, any particular pasta, you want to make sure you have a sea salt taste. So I'm doing it with raw chicken. So we're gonna, while the water is getting hot, I have some chicken breast here, okay, regular chicken breast, and I'm gonna cut up the chicken breast so that everything is in practical strips, and we want to make sure that we have just about enough because we're gonna saute all of this, saute all of the chicken, just so that we can add it to So I'll take the chicken and practically I'll just run some slices of the chicken, and then that way I have bits of slice of chicken that's gonna add into this tortellini. Keep in mind what it's called. It's the chicken tortellini pasta dish. So we're gonna have some bits and pieces of some chicken. This chicken is gonna be entirely within and throughout this dish. So I want to make sure my strips aren't too enlarged, but just, you know, practically bite-sized enough to combine and to mix with the entire process that I'm going to be putting on back here. So usually as you can see, this chicken it is still a bit in its saturated juice, but we're gonna clean it up with some vinegar, and then that way we want to make sure that that the chicken is entirely fresh. So I'm cutting my chicken down the middle, and then I'm practically making some thin slice, not too thin. I still want to be able to see the chicken in any part of the dish that we are working on. And some other items that we have on the table that we're going to also add into that, which is once I'm sauteing the chicken, I'll add in some onions, celery, carrots, and then we add some peppers. We also have some kidney beans. The purpose of the kidney is that it's a booster pack, but it actually enhances the whole concept of this tortellini, giving it a great taste. Just about we're slicing up on just enough chicken here to give us, that's what we're looking for. Looks like almost everything. So this inside here, we're gonna rinse it off, clean it up. Last piece. Right. So we have our bowl of some sliced up raw chicken. We're gonna go ahead and clean this, and I'll be right back. And then we're going to begin the process over here. All right, so we have our chicken all completely cleaned, meaning that I cleaned it with some vinegar and salt, and just to make sure I could get rid of all of that, the saturated sauce that it was in. And now I have some nice fresh and crystal clear chicken that I could work with. So I'm gonna just do a little light seasoning means to this right here, which I'm gonna add some granulated garlic. You want your chicken to be flavored good, so don't be afraid to add in your spices. I'm also gonna use some onions. This is granulated garlic, granulated onions, some seasoned salt, don't need to go too heavy on the seasoned salt. Keep in mind that you can always add a little bit more salt to the flavoring. You can't take it out. You could only add, so don't go too heavy. Just go light enough to make it happen. Give it a possibility to work with. And as you know, I love my complete, so I'm gonna add some complete inside here. Okay, while my pot right now is on and getting hot, I'm gonna add some oil to it. Just enough oil to cover the base of it. This chicken, practically I just go ahead and I just combine mixing all of the ingredients, all of the seasonings. Just allow it to rub amongst the sliced up chicken breasts. Alright, so we have our chicken practically ready and set. I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna go ahead and pour. Meanwhile, this pot is getting hot. Our water is getting to a boiling point. And you know, the funniest thing is I was working on some other items, and then I happened to have a couple extra bags of some items here, which we are going to utilize these items, which as I stated is the celery. A bag of some celery here, so celery. Any basis to a good soup, always remember it's celery, onions, and carrot. Celery, onion, and carrot. Pretty much all you need just to get a good soup started. It is actually the baseline ingredients to that. Nice. Yeah, this one just enough. Not too much to overkill. Likewise, we're going to add some more onions to this. So I got a whole onion. I'm going to go ahead and cut that up as well. Some carrots. Be consistent with it. Is quarter dice. We have our onions, our carrot, our celery, all in this bowl. These are the items we're going to add to the chicken, and then we're going to transfer the tortellinis and over. The last thing we're going to do is just add in some peppers. But right now, let's take a look at. It's starting to formulate some smoke. That tells us that it's time to go ahead and let's get the chicken to work. Let's bring it closer. Alright, so now I'll take the chicken. Here my chicken inside the pot. As you can see, I'm using a big skillet, so move the chicken around, allow them to thin out. I'm gonna cover the pot back, allow it to saute, simmer. That's what this is called at this moment. It's called you're sauteing and you're simmering it. Alright, so we'll leave that alone. We'll add in the onions and the carrots once the chicken gets to a halfway standard. Meanwhile, we have our water that's boiling. So right now I'm going to open up these. I'm going to open up the tortellinis out of the container, take them to the fry pan. So now I'm going to add the tortellini to the water. Careful. Don't want too much of a splash. And it looks like a whole bunch of buttons, but as you can see, there's spinach as well as it's both kind that's in here. They all mix, and then we're gonna allow that to heat or to kind of cook through a process part of it. Take a look at our chicken. Keep in mind that this needs to be turned a couple times so that some of the pieces that are still in here that have not quite cooked, a bit raw, will be cooked. So that's what you want to see, that is going in according to your plans. And make sure you cook. This could be cooked on high heat, so don't be afraid. Now the tortellini, you don't need basically within a window of 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how hot your water is. You will notice that they will start to swell. But you still want to kind of keep a little bit of an al dente, taste to the pasta, considering the fact that you're going to add that to the sauce. You're going to add that to the sauce, so that's why we're preparing that part of the meal. So right now, as you look in, we can see the tortellini is starting to engulf. It's starting to swell. And that's what you're looking for. So within that 3-minute window, so that you don't go over the process, keep in mind if it's gonna seem that it's gonna cook a little bit more, another 2 more minutes inside of the sauce is gonna fully engulf it. So that means that you want to keep it right within that perimeter. You can always check it. The firmness of it will determine how much more it may need. Okay, just about another minute. Then we'll turn it off. We'll strain it. You have to strain it. And while you're straining it, you can cool it off. Add a little bit of oil so that everything doesn't stick. It's going to remain pretty much in the holding point. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'll be right back. All right, so now make the complete full assessment now. All right, at this point now we can go ahead and we can start adding our herbs to this. So let's say this is onions, this is carrots, and celery. I'm going to work on some peppers now. I'm gonna add just a few more colors to the tortellini pasta. We're gonna add this in now. We're gonna go ahead and add this to what we have back here, and also, so I'm gonna use a few peppers, and I want to destem the peppers, so I'm gonna take out the centerpiece. And these are sweet peppers, guys. They're not hot, so don't you go get any peppers and then not taking a look to see particularly what kind of peppers you're utilizing. You don't want to make this a caliente type of a dish. You want it to taste right, but you want it to be tolerable at the same token. So I'm going to take just a couple peppers, which is basically the red, yellow, and the orange. And I'm going to have a little confetti color. I love color in my food. It brings out to me more of the dynamics of what I'm looking for, as far as how creative and appetizing that it looks. So that's why I love working my peppers. Alright, so I have my peppers in, and as you can see, I'll probably cut it down in fours. Then I'll just have a little bit of a chunk-like look to it. Again, I'll cut them in fours, cut them in twos, and then I'll come back and just kind of give them that edge-like look. You're not going to literally see this inside the pasta too tough. You're going to see a little bit of it. You're going to see it. You're practically going to see it, just that it won't be so evidence of it being there just by itself. So I just see it's a lot, but at the same token, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. But you don't need it to I don't want it to overthrow, so I just want just enough just to add to what we have back here. You're blending and mixing all your flavors together, adding a few of the peppers. It's going to create its own juice. We're going to add some kidney beans to that. So we have some, open up some can of some red kidney beans, and we're gonna maybe go ahead and add that too. You see that nice array of colors? So this is what you're looking for. As just a starting point. Keep in mind we're going to add in our sauce now, and basically we're adding in some basil tomato sauce that was made, that we had already prepared. All right. Go ahead and add the sauce in. Also add some basil, a bit of basil in here because just for a bit of basil leaf adds a bit of sweetness. Mixing all of the marinara sauce in with the herbs and everything, and now we're just going to allow that to heat through. Once it has gotten to a heating point, then we're going to add in some chops of some spinach. And the last thing that we're going to add in is we add back the tortellinis. back to this mixture. Again, you want to make sure that you check to make sure that the flavor is there. You could use just a tad more salt, but we're gonna get to that in just a second. So for right now, let's allow this to heat up. And once it gets to a point where it's starting to boil a little bit, then we're gonna add in the spinach. So I'm gonna get ready to chop that spinach up just now. Set aside all of the spices. We keep that in front of us. I don't want to get too far away from my computer, because I gotta get it complete. So now we can work on our spinach. On a bit, some of the sanitizing. Keep your area clean while you're working. We have some nice spinach leaves. Spinach is very good for you, everybody. Learn to enjoy your spinach. And you can add it to your meals. You can add it to your salad. I promise you that that you will do yourself a bit of good by eating your spinach. You have a whole slew of super fluids that's within the spinach itself, because it's all naturally green. And guess what? It tastes good too. So don't think that I'm just saying that to you. I love spinach, especially if it's properly made with some cream. Man, you can't go wrong. So we're gonna take one of these containers and we're gonna add to this. sure do look like a lot of spinach. But because spinach is one of the most superfoods that I love. The minute it hits any kind of water, hot water, it is gonna immediately disintegrate down to all you can see is just a look. That's all you're gonna see is just a look of it being in there. So that's where we will be. We're right there now. We're at that point. So we have a bowl full of spinach, and we're ready to put this whole contraption together. Hey, Chef, how you doing?
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Raphael. How are we doing today?
All right, so we have our spinach right now. We're just gonna allow the pot to get hot enough. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add that to it.
Tortellini today.
And in just in about at least another, let's say about 3 more minutes, we add the spinach, and then we're gonna add in the tortellini. Once we add the tortellinis into that sauce, it's pretty much done because tortellini is already cooked. Keep in mind that we cook the tortellini. It still has that firmness. It's not overcooked, and everything is practically ready to serve. So once all we're doing now is just incorporating it, mix everything together, and then that's it. And along with that, we're gonna create a salad, and we have some bread as well that we're gonna use with this particular dish on today. So I mean, everyone that's here, you guys are in for a wonderful treat. If you want to call it Italian, it is Italian. And it's a bit of tapping on the European side. You know, the beautiful part about it all is that you know, I thank God that I'm not limited to a particular style of food, but I'm open to any and every aspect of food because that's what we do as chefs. I just believe that when you're more diversified in knowing and understanding, and that you learn what it is, how to do it, how to create it, how to make it work for you, then you're gonna get the best out of your creative actions. Okay, so that's what we're. So we're looking good. We're looking real good, and right now we're preparing the salad. The salad part of this that's gonna go with this particular dish, and also we're gonna use some croissants today. We're going to use up some more of the croissants.
Love our cup running over, but in a good way. So we mix this up. We're gonna divide it in different glasses. So we want to make sure we get this mixture nicely incorporated, so all the colors are present. You know, the unique thing about Chef Vinroy and I is that when you're cooking, it doesn't matter who you cook for, but you put your heart into it. It just brings your food to life. It makes it so much more pleasant, you know? Because we like the idea of serving a plate where you start to eat it with your eyes before it actually gets into your mouth, you know? So that's the fun we have out of creating our dishes. So this dish is pretty much colorful, but I still want to add some more color to it. So I will add the some red some red will really bring this to life and make you want to eat it.
I got some tomatoes coming and washing them off.
Yeah, so we have some colorful tomatoes. You know, we have, you know, when you have those plum tomatoes that are all these different colors, you have gold, you have pearl, you have red, yellow. It just brings this dish so much more life as it needs to be. So I get my cutting board. My Chef Anthony gets those tomatoes washed, sanitized. But when I say sanitize, you know, we don't sanitize tomatoes, of course, but we like to wash it, take any germs, excess germs off of tomatoes before adding them to our salad. Live and learn, great flow. Stay tuned.
Alright, so right now we're gonna check our sauce to see how it's coming along. I like the texture, I like the consistency of it. Everything seems to be well balanced and it's loose. That's what I'm looking for. That's what you need because the tortellini is gonna practically absorb the rest of all of that. So at this point now is where I'm gonna add in the spinach to this. Okay, so as I said, is that don't be afraid. It seems like a lot, but this looks like that. As this gets directly into this mixture. You always understand that every time you're preparing something or whatever you're making, and you're being creative. Okay, that's the main thing, is that you're being creative. Put your taste buds to the test. You know, and in the process of doing it, don't be afraid if when you do it and it does not seem to look right or it did not come out right. Usually, as I stated, unless it is that your desire is to really be in the culinary field, a chef usually knows the ending of his product before he even begins to make it. So if you're just doing it because of you just want to pick up a career that you say, well, you know, I think I could probably be able to do this, and that's all good and gravy. If that's what you want to do, kudos to you. But I suggest that you do it with a care, a passion, and love. If you do put love behind the work that you're doing, then the results is going to speak for itself. If you don't put love, then you might get frustrated and pull your hands up. And the objective of this is not to get angry, not to get upset, but to enjoy what you're doing. Keep in mind what you're doing also is that you're the one that got to eat this. So you know, so you want every bit of what you're putting into it. If you're putting love in, then you're gonna get just what is coming out of that. Now, if you don't put no care and concern, then you get what you put in. So, again, this is what you're looking at. Okay, so as we could look and see right now, you see the texture and you see the consistency of the sauce. It did not break, anything of that nature. Everything sits and it stands perfectly well. Now, as I say, you don't need to literally cook the spinach. The spinach is already cooked. We're gonna add in the tortellinis to this. And just mix it all together. Nice. How was about that? How was about that? You see how beautiful everything just seems to just synchronize and just kind of just falls in line like cadence. This is how you know what and this is exactly how I saw it prior to preparing and putting it together. I could see all of the as I say, you're not going to see every single herb, but basically you're going to see just the dynamics of the entire dish completely impacted together as
Beautiful.
everything is mixed.
Beautiful.
Do you see this color right here? Do you see the texture? Do you see?
Everything is looking
I mean,
perfect.
it's right. It's home. It's home. And right now, if I was in Italy and in Europe, this would be the first thing that I would select off the menu, and I want to start off with this because it tells every bit about the person that put the passion and the love into that.
But to reinforce what he just said, he was saying something earlier about how you have a picture in your head. The food is an art, and you are the artist preparing the food.
Exactly.
So you gotta have that vision of seeing the end of the road,
Before.
what it's supposed to look like before you even start the dish. So as we spoke on this, and you see he's telling you how this dish is coming together from A to Z. Now we at point Y right now because I was just talking about that one. But the other thing I was also thinking about is that at this point here, you don't want to over season, you leave it there, because if you have any issues with the flavor, remember when you go to a restaurant to eat, for
You always
example,
have.
you always have salt and pepper.
Yeah.
If you want more salt, you have more salt. But if it's over salted, you cannot do anything about it.
Can't take it out.
So you want to moderate and make your food to a liking where someone can add, but you cannot take away.
That's right.
And to reiterate on that, if we come around here, and let me show you what we were talking about earlier. Remember I said, food is an art that you're doing as you go and you're picturing what you want out of it. Remember he talked about bread. We got the croissant here cut, to serve our guests. And we have the tomatoes cut with the salad mix that I was making earlier. Remember, we were picturing something in our mind, so he had the tomatoes being clean, and I spoke on it. But as he was cutting them out, I'm picturing how we're gonna put it on here. So I did a circle of red tomatoes. And remember I said we had tricolor tomatoes that's gonna come around. So you see in the middle, I have all the different colors of tomatoes so that when somebody sees the dish come to them, they say, wow, it's colorful. You got the green, you got the yellow, you got the orange, you got the pearl, you got the red, and all the mixture that's in this salad mix makes it all come together. So in this process here, at the end, when you take this out, all you're adding to it is the salad dressing of your choice. And we give you the option to put the dressing that you want on this salad so that you can have a wonderful meal. The tortellini is colorful. You got the croissant here, and then you got the salad mix that makes this dish complete. And this is what we about here at Rayfield, making a dish that's enjoyable. Start eating it with your eyes until it goes down to your stomach. Enjoy.